we are back at I.W.A 2018 for part 2 of our I.W.A tour. Looking at accessories is fun and all, but how can we ever forget our RWA booth? I mean, it's our 10th year anniversary at I.W.A, and we have many awesome attractions. The booth, of course, I'm talking about the booth. We're going to have a look at the RWA panel right here. First off, let me take you through the Lee Enfield. Now, the typical Lee Enfield, the real steel version, is obviously not as dark as this. So when they designed it, they just ripped it off trees, carved it, and then sent it out to their troops. But this one, we spent more time on the wood, varnished it, and it looks and feels fantastic. A lot of steel and metallic components, and it's a great replica of the real steel version. This one is an open bolt spring action, though I don't want to mess with this one, so I'm just going to leave it as is, but it holds, I believe 24 rounds, and it is fantastic. What we are more excited about, is the new RWA Nighthawk Custom Warhawk. This is made out of a die-cast aluminium. It should cost around $180 US, and this one is hoping to compete with CO2 KWC pistols and other Marui 1911s. It does use CO2, but you can use green gas as well. And it is of a very competitive price. It's got Marui internals. It's not made by Marui. It's not made by KWC, so people would assume it's a KWC OEM, but this is all done by RWA in their own factory. So if you remember the GRP steel version, this is exactly made by that factory as well. So we're hoping that this one performs as smoothly and as beautifully as that one. This one is CNC aluminium. Those two are going to start saying aluminum, so don't listen to those guys, okay? But this one is the love child of Nighthawk Custom and Agency Arms. And since RWA were lucky enough to have those two as the licenses, it was only appropriate to design this one for airsoft. So you have the amazingly beautiful outer barrel there with a little bit more girth at the top, much like the real steel version. Now I know it is CNC aluminium, so the cost of this one is going to be up there. I don't want to say, in fact I have to say, it'll probably be around $800. That's what we've been quoted. It may change, it could rise, it could lower, we're not entirely sure yet, but this is meant to be incredibly smooth. It will also just use Marui 1911 mags, and this is the 4.3 length. This is the Agent 1. There's going to be an Agent 2 out, which is the 5.1, and that one will probably cost the exact same, maybe even a little bit more because there's more to work with. But it's got a small rail underneath for flashlights, lasers, what have you, a flat trigger, golf ball type grip panel, and it is absolutely stunning. The BAD, the Battle Arms Development Pt.2 rifle, is something that we've been showing online recently. We know that it's been out there, so there's really nothing more to say about it. But this is the RWA booth. I'm going to hand it over to either Marck or Gambit, so see you guys in a bit.
Hey guys, Tim drew the short straw, I drew the second to the short straw. Anyways, enough about straws. This is the GHK 553 gas blowback rifle. This is one of a kind, the only one that we have, well, in the world at the moment, that is built and demoed right here at the RWA booth. The really cool thing about it is it has a fantastic 3-round burst, and it's not these super fast ones you see on a lot of other gas blowback rifles where they kind of take you out of that sense of realism. This 3-round burst is very good. It's extremely gas efficient with the GHK system, and it comes with 2 of these G36 style magazines, and they interlock. So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck with one of these things. Gas efficiency is fantastic. On a 3-round burst, you can go through maybe about 2.5 to close to 3 magazines on one charge. So you're getting a lot of good performance out of this thing. But what would you expect from GHK? Has a folding stock, and this is going to be the finalized look. However, the colors and everything could be subjected to changes. This is still a prototype. So enough about this thing. Next up, this is the Bear Paw Productions SVU. This is a bullpup semi-automatic designated marksman or sniper rifle that you can use. Gas system as well. Magazine goes into the rear. There it is. It is extremely loud and has a really good kick. However, the trigger is a little on the squishy side. It is a bullpup. but it feels really good. Full metal construction, has a few plastic pieces here and there, but that's about it. It has flip up rear and front sights, and it comes with this really cool Russian style suppressor. Can't wait to get this out to you guys. Again, this, just like the 553, is the only one in existence right now. Hopefully we'll have more information for you guys down the road, and I'm gonna hand it off to Gambit.
Hey guys, Max with R.W.A Group. So I got the long straw, and since the previous two guys didn't really do a very good job, I'm going to talk a little bit more. So over here we have the R.W.A Fortis rail. These four rails are actually now available on a lot of retail stores. They're probably by far the lightest airsoft rails you can get. So over here we have the M2 AEG. That's right, it's a functioning M2 AEG from a new company called 3D MNP. Internally, it's running a M249 AEG gearbox, so any regular upgrades, aftermarket parts can fit in. It'll work. So some of you may or may not know, RWA has been exhibiting in I.W.A for the past 9 years. This is actually our 10th year exhibiting here. So what we did is we collaborated with several companies to make special edition rifles. So these two are made by GNP. This is made with a transformer system, so a quick detachable outer barrel. Over here is their, I believe is the SR26, SR25 model that has been modified, and you can see our RWA 10th year anniversary logo engraved on there. And this one, this is really cool. This is actually a GBR rifle that's made with a 308 magazine, gas blowback. You can see the custom milling, billet style upper, and also custom design rail. Very, very cool. 1 second, let me just clear the gun. Okay. And last but not least, Aries Striker. They made a custom coloring for us that's in red, and then all these special accessories just for us. And last but not least, I think you've seen our movie Breach on RWTV, and that is our newly featured grenades. So over here, what we have here is the Avatar grenade. This is the Mark 1 version. If you have seen our video on RWTV, you've seen the movie Breach, where we heavily featured this grenade. Now, what's cool about this grenade is the main component is just two systems, right? One is the core, and the other is the skins. The skins would determine the dispersion rate of the BB as well as the FPS, where the core would determine the detonation function or detonation method of the grenade. So you can mix and match it. Right now, this is the standard package, but in the future, let's say there is different skins. For example, over here, this is the orb skin. Just by switching it, you just successfully upgraded your grenade. In the future, there's going to be a remote control core, there's going to be a timer core, and possibly even a sensor core. So the upgrade for this is limitless. Basically, it's the world's first smart airsoft grenade that it's made to be modular and upgradable. So keep an eye on the online store as well as other distributors of RWA products. You're going to see this near you guys very, very soon.
Hey guys, Tim here of RedWolf TV, and we are at I.W.A 2018 at the Silverback Airsoft booth, Hall 8 in Nuremberg, Germany. And I'm very excited to talk about the HTI 50 cal by Silverback themselves. I am very excited by this. Just look at the 50 cal. It's just absolutely beautiful. If you're a fan of their bullpup design sniper rifles from before, you'll be a huge fan of this one. The materials will be very much the same, so you don't have to worry about that. And believe it or not, this is actually not that heavy at all. Now that I've mentioned that the materials are very much the same, there's not much to go into in that sort of area, but it'll be coming in a smaller box and in separated parts as it was before. We have the outer barrel, we have the rail system, it'll come with the flash separately as well, it'll come with the magazine. There are some things that have not changed. You can adjust the height of the monopod, you can raise the cheek riser, you can adjust the distance of the trigger pull, and it won't come with the bipod. But it's got this monolithic top rail for all your scopes, and all these space on the sides of a rail for extra accessories. It also has QD sling points here at the front, on the other side, and underneath, and towards the back, here, and on the other side. It also comes with a 60-round magazine with a U-shaped design, so it can have double stack. It's a little bit thicker than the older version, which is why that one didn't have a huge magazine capacity. What else is there to say about it? If you look towards the back here and pull back this lever, you'll be able to change out the spring with efficiency. And now if you have a look at this, you just switch out a new spring. And because it's so much larger, it'll have a much larger spring guide. And you look underneath with far larger ball bearings too. Just sit back there and fit this back in. Everything is so incredibly smooth. Now, the bolt will be pole design with a very smooth push. And you can hear that slight click towards the end. I'll sort of move my microphone closer so you can hear it. And I think it's all these little features that are very important. Do you hear that? There you go. Put the microphone back on. This is the right-handed version. They will also have a left-handed version as well. This is much heavier than I thought it would be. But they're also having a sport line. So it's not just this length. They will have an outer barrel, which looks exactly like the other SRS sport line, with a much shorter rail as well. A little more affordable. And they also have a new outer barrel here with the exact same feature. Just look at that. It obviously needs to have that at the end. It just looks so much better. Now, you're probably wondering when this will be released, and they are telling me that it'll be towards the end of the year, just a little before the end of the year, and it should cost around or just under $800 US. So we're hoping to see this in the near future, and I'm very excited. These manufacturers never usually talk about FPS because it's always subject to change. Now, let's chrono the thing. And we are at the Acetech booth. Now, if you don't know who they are, you should, because we use their chronograph. See what I did there? Do you like that? Do you like that transition? You've definitely seen this around. But they also have some other cool accessories. For example, have a look at their pistol tracer called the lighter. Only a couple of inches long. But they have something much smaller called the Lighter S, which is adorable. And if you're wondering about battery storage, do not worry, because there is a USB charger in there, and this can last about 10,000 rounds, and it's incredibly bright. But what really took the attention away from me was the eye tracer. Now, the eye tracer itself, we're not allowed to shoot airsoft guns during I.W.A, so that's why they have this unique system here. It comes in 3 forms. It comes with the shroud and the internalized system here. Now, once it's all put together, this inside the AEG, you can set this on top, though I should mention it can work with a gas blowback too, but there are some functions you cannot use, but more on that later. If you notice on top, it's currently off. And I'll switch it all the way to the right side. It'll let you know its rate of fire. So if I hold it here and press the button, you can see its rate of fire. The speed will count its feet per second or meters per second. You can also adjust that in the settings. It could count down. Depending on the magazine type you have, you can also change the amount of BBs. And once it's running low, and if you do reload in the end, just hold it down and it resets. You can count up for those that find that interesting. And settings to adjust all those settings. Now, you can adjust the rounds burst fire as well from 2 to 20 so long as the MOSFET is in. But if it is a gas blowback, that is all rendered completely useless. This is something that I'm going to dive into if it ever makes its way to RedWolf TV. We at RedWolf TV would personally like to thank Airsoft Milsim and Newsblog for allowing us to use their footage throughout these 2 reviews. We hope you enjoyed it, and do make sure to check their channel out too, which you can find in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys on the next episode of RedWolf TV, and maybe next year at I.W.A 2019.